talk more about this situation with us right now. We're joined by Jumaane Williams. Now, Jumaane is the public advocate in New York City. For those not from New York City, the public advocate is actually the second highest ranking elected official behind the mayor. And I guess it's fair to say is seen as kind of a watchdog position. So with that in mind, the mayor's in Mexico. You're watching, you're looking in. What do you make of the trip?
You know, I can see a role for the mayor to make this a type of trip. One, I think that the message of don't come here is a message that could have been sent from New York City, and in fact has been. I don't think it's working. My hope is that we can use a trip like this to better humanize what's happening and the human beings who are fleeing some pretty tough situations. Why? And hopefully get people to act in a way that they're not acting now.
Okay, one of the things that's come up is the right to shelter law in New York City. I want to put up a tweet that you had on this earlier in the day today. The right to shelter basically means that, if someone comes in, asks for shelter, the city's going to give it to them. And you tweeted on this. Be clear, the administration is wanting to get rid of right to shelter long before the first migrant bus came to New York City, sadly, because the governor refuses to accept it as a statewide right. The president refuses to present a decompression strategy. Now they found another excuse. So the mayor wants to suspend this. And you say that, that they should go in another direction. What would that direction be? How would you handle this differently?
Well, to be clear, as I mentioned, there's a few things that this administration has been wanting to do before the first migrant bus even came. This is one of them. And now we are admittedly in a very tough situation. And we're using that as an excuse to do something they wanted to do. What should be happening right now is, one, it would be great if the governors had not done this in the first place, sending all of the buses to cities like New York. But two, if the president would come in and help decompress so that all these buses don't have to come to New York City. There are a lot of other places that can assist with this. And three, the governor of New York should...
Just for a second, what does decompress? What does that mean? What would that look like? Decompression strategy?
That means the buses that are coming, there's more places for the buses to go than for New York City. And my hope is that we've been pushing the White House to get down by the border, get involved so that the influx and the responsibility of helping people who are legally here seeking asylum doesn't just fall onto one city like New York. And the governor similarly should be saying that the right to shelter is actually a statewide right, which is something that many of us are saying, instead of refusing that, because that puts additional pressure. And then we use that pressure to try to take away a right that's been there for quite some time and has been very effective and helpful for homeless people.
But you do agree, just so we're clear, when the mayor talks about the numbers, I put up the numbers earlier and we can cite them again, but 116,000 migrants coming in since April of 2022, 61,000 currently housed in city shelters. You do agree with the mayor's characterization that the city is, quote unquote, at capacity? That's what he says about those numbers. So that you're in agreement there.
The mayor is correct that this is unsustainable for New York City.
So you want to see it spread out to the other parts of the state, essentially?
Well, there's a few things that we need to do. One is we definitely need resources to assist with some of the folks who are seeking asylum. And 100%, as we've done in the past when people are seeking asylum, we don't just try to put it in one city to prove a political point. We try to find and use spaces that can benefit and can assist in dealing with the crisis at hand, but that's not what's happening. And so what we're asking is for all government on all levels to figure out a national response to a national crisis. And right now, people seem to just be stuck in a political one, which is not helping the people who are running away from some pretty tough situations, places and things that people who are here would run away from, and people have run away from throughout history.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.